Very good morning, everyone, and welcome to the briefing for Wednesday, the 24th of January. Okay, looking at the chart, just going back overnight, at midnight shows this cold front here with the isobars really quite tightly packed. So we had some very strong winds overnight, but that's now moved through, and we're in a reasonable area here. Isobars still pretty close together, but not quite as tight as they were last night, bringing with it a westerly flow. But we're in this ever so slightly colder but drier air mass, which should be quite nice. Now, moving on overnight, you see this sort of becoming a waving front and it's coming back up towards us. And looks like that warm front goes through overnight. And this is the midday chart. And then we've also got another warm front approaching tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be warm sector and pretty miserable, really, with mist all day. Moving further ahead on Friday, a couple of cold fronts go through, high pressure building just over the Bay of Biscay to the south. And it should be actually quite a nice day. Okay, today winds we're looking at about 25 to 30 knots straight down the runway on 27, so that's nice and easy. And the sat pic, you can see there's some cloud around, mostly medium to high level, I think. Not going to cause us too much of a problem. Rainfall radar showing a few showers a very long way away, but nothing too close to us at the moment. And looking at the rainfall forecast, a little bit of activity out to the west as we go throughout the day, but it looks like no risk at all for us. And public forecast degrees showing sunny intervals all day, top temperature of 9 or 10 degrees, which is comparatively warm to what we've had the last couple of weeks. Do notice a steady breeze from the west, wind gusting around midday, quite high, it's showing 27 knots here, so we will need to be very careful of that. Otherwise, reducing a little bit as we go into the afternoon. GFS is showing 9 or 10 degrees today, with dew point set at around 4 to 5 degrees. So there's a big enough split there that hopefully canopy misting shouldn't be too much of a problem. That's currently outside, some cloud and distance, relatively high by the looks of it. It looks not too bad otherwise. Currently just over 8 degrees, dew point just over 4. Okay, Odium latest scattered at 2,800 and broken higher than that. They're showing here wind 20 knots from the west-southwest, gusting up to 30, so we will need to be cautious with that. And yeah, there will be a slight southerly component on the ground later on. Becoming 12 knots from the west, nice and short really. Farnborough, much the same. They're showing gusts up to 28 knots, but otherwise no significant low weather by the looks of it, which is great. Okay, top meteo, this is 10 a.m. showing it to be clear in our area, and as we go throughout the day, not really showing anything at all, which is nice. We'll have a quick look at thermals just in case. Yeah, it's showing potentially maybe even some cumulus, just over 2,000 feet around midday. I expect with the strength of the wind, it will be very tricky to actually get anything out of it, but there will be some thermal activity, which could potentially add to the wind strength, which might be why it's gusting a little bit higher around midday. No dams, there's nothing in the local area. Okay, operationally, we're going to set up on 2-7, and I think the grass is actually dry enough to go for a standard setup. So we'll have the launch point on the main runway, and cables running down the edge of the runway. Depending on what the wind's doing, we will need some left correction at time, as the lower wind will be slightly more south. All circuits and landings onto the grass as normal, unless we, for some reason, specifically brief otherwise. Okay, glider availability, we've got the K21, 778, two K13s, Charlie and Hotel, two baby grobs, SH6, SH8, and all three discuses. We will have all the gliders out today, as people have booked, but we may find that the baby grobs have to stop flying around midday if the wind increases quite a lot. We'll see how we're getting on when we're out there. No movements. I think most of you are doing this by now, doing a good job towing on the winch hook. Just a small thing with that, can you please make sure that ideally you should have somebody on the nose. Either way, if the buggy is driving at an angle to the glider, it can start to cause problems. So if you're driving the buggy and you notice that the glider is not pointing towards you, please just stop and let them realign themselves pointing towards you. Otherwise, you get the glider going off in a different direction. And because you're towing on the center of gravity hook, it doesn't pull the nose round like the aerotow hook does if it gets a little bit untidy. So if you're the buggy driver and the glider's not pointing towards you, please stop. And same on the glider end, please keep the glider pointing towards the buggy. Please don't sit on the wing roots of the glass gliders, or the wooden gliders really. A couple of the gliders in for their annuals have noticed a little bit of damage because of this, so please make an effort not to do that. And very strong wind today, so certainly around midday, please keep your approaches really high. Lots of air brake, lots of speed all the way down to the ground. Okay, it might be that we have to put the baby grobs and or the K-13s away around midday. Okay, aside from the wind, it looks like a really nice day, so I'll see you out there. Bye for now.